Alright, welcome back, or actually welcome to the first episode of my podcast channel. I'm trying out new videos, so this will be like a long form video, but also I'm making this like a podcast type vibe. And my reason for that, I don't have like an official name or anything. It's kind of just like a low-key, like chill vibe, but I want to be able to like talk more instead of just like always vlogging. And my reason for this is because if you know me, or if you're like if you're close to me, I feel like a lot of people know this. I always talk to myself. My family definitely knows this. My sister is worse than me. She talks to herself way more. But I just love talking out loud, talking to myself like home alone or whatever. And especially when I'm in the car, like long car rides or just like car rides in general. I actually don't, sometimes I don't even listen to music. I just talk to myself, which I don't know if that's weird, but that's how I get my thoughts out. That's how I understand what's going on in my brain and also just like work through things. And sometimes I feel like I'm like, oh wait, I kind of want to like share this with some people. Like I feel like my thoughts are kind of sometimes more than just about me, and I'm like, wait, I should start making videos. And so I've been wanting to do like a podcast for a long time, but I'm like, what even is really a podcast? And like I don't want it to be something where I like interview people or need all this fancy equipment and like that. Like I kind of like just the more like getting all my thoughts out in a video form, but calling it a podcast. I don't know. So welcome to episode 1. I was like trying to come up with a name, if I should have like a podcast name, but I'm like, everything is so like cringy and like I don't know what to name it. But anyways, this episode is all about me because I figured I've never posted a video like that on YouTube, but I'm just gonna give you my lore or like just my whole backstory. So let's get started. Alright, so hi, if you don't know me. My name is Kaitlyn Olivia Ansberry. I recently got the nickname of Koa, K-O-A, that's my initials. When I went to see Live this past year, they started calling me that and I love it. So, Kaitlyn, Koa, whatever you want. I'm 19 years old. I will be 20 in October of this year. So not a teenager anymore, which is crazy. So I graduated high school in 2024. I'm a dancer. I feel like that's like the most obvious. That's kind of like my whole life. I love fitness. I'll dive into that more. I love fashion, like love it. That's probably what I would have studied if I went to college. I have 2 dogs. I have a sister and a brother. I'm from Ohio. But anyways, let me just get into like actually like my life. So I grew up in Ohio, born and raised in Ohio. I still live in Ohio. I went to a private school up until I think 7th grade, and I think honestly that has shaped a lot of like who I am and like the discipline side of things possibly, but also I owe a lot of that to dance. I think more that shaped who I was as like a student in like an academic setting, because I was always like really good at school for whatever reason. I always thought I was gonna go to college, but I definitely wanted to go out of state for college. That's always what I was aiming for, but I didn't end up going to college, and we'll get into that more later. And yeah, like school was my whole life, honestly. I think even though dance took up majority of my life, I always thought like it would never be anything more than just studio life or like, you know, what it is now for me. But I think I was kind of always just wired into thinking that I had to go to college because everyone kind of did. Like that was just the thing. So that's what I trained for my whole life, or that's what I studied for my whole life. I was in AP classes all throughout high school, like APs and honors. And I was like really good at school up until like my junior, when I kind of knew like I wasn't gonna go to college, and I kind of stopped trying because, not in a bad way, but I was like, why am I literally staying up till 3 a.m. doing homework and I have to be up at 6? Like, and I'm not even going to college. Like, I didn't care. Like, I was like, whatever, this is dumb. I'm gonna put my attention towards my actual future, which is dance. Before dance, I was a competitive cheerleader, and then I had to pick either cheer or dance. And obviously I chose dance. I actually was a cheerleader for my high school 9th through 12th grade. I think also I was in 8th for middle school. I don't know. So I did that because I was like, oh, like I want to be involved in my school, like, you know, get into a good college, like do all the fun things. I'm still glad I did that. Obviously, like it was fun, but clearly I didn't go to college. So I tried volleyball for a year. Not for me. When I was really little, I did t-ball. But yeah, definitely more for the arts, I would say. Alright, well, COVID happened at the end of my 8th grade year. So I had like almost 2 years of being at that public middle school. And then the rest of my 8th grade and like basically all of my freshman year was just nothing. And I think a lot of like character development happened during then, but also like setback, because I think I'm already a shy person when you first get to know me, but I think I'm even more because of that. Like, it's not that I don't know how to talk to people, but it took me a while. Like, now I feel like I'm really good at like public, like talking to people, and like I'm out of my shell a little bit more. But I think it took me until I got out of high school, like, to get out of that weird like COVID vibe and just being locked up in, like, you know, we all went through it, whatever. Anyways, but yeah, like we didn't have obviously freshman homecoming, like anything like that. And coming from the private school to the public school, I already didn't really know people. So going into high school, I was like kind of scared. But I just focused on my academics, obviously. I didn't have many friends actually at all in high school. Like, at all. Until like my junior year, I had like 1 or 2, like my last 2 years. But yeah, it never really bothered me either. That was the thing. Like, I never was like, oh, why don't I not get invited places? Because like I didn't want to. Like, I didn't want to go to parties. Also, that's the thing. I was never like, I never went to party. I was never a partier. Like, I never did anything like that, and I still don't really. I was like, I'd rather be alone. Like, and I kind of did it to myself, but I knew so deeply like who I was. Like, I've always known who I am. I've always known that there's like more for me, and that, I don't know, I just feel like I have a very good sense of self, and I always have had that. So I didn't need others, and I didn't need to rely on others. Have like fake friendships essentially, because I felt like a lot of the time in high school that's what it was, and I was seeing it happen in front of my eyes. Like, someone would go hang out with this person and then turn to me and talk about them right behind their back, and I'm just like, why would I be friends with you then? It was always quality over quantity for me when it came to friends. So yeah, I had like no friends, not in like a loner way, but just like, I don't know, I just always felt like it wasn't really beneficial to me. And then I like started to get good at dance low-key my sophomore year. Freshman year, like I was working my way up, but I started to get good sophomore year, and I was like, wait, like I'm graduating in 2 years. How am I gonna stop dancing? Like, how am I gonna let go of this? I can't. Like, I literally could not imagine my life without it, and I was just like, what do I do? And then my junior year came, we're gonna have to start touring colleges, like we're gonna have to start thinking about where I'm gonna apply. I was like, I really don't know what I want to even study. I don't know what my major would be. I don't have any interest besides dance. I want my career to be dance. And I was like, I just wish I could do that, you know? And then I all of a sudden had a thought. This is crazy, I know. I was like, wait, why can't it be? I can totally do this. If I love it, I don't have to stop. I can just keep it in my life if I want. Like, I can make it my career. Just because it wasn't like a common thing at my studio, I guess, or like in Ohio, just in general. Literally, what? Like, if I love it and I feel like I can do it, then why don't I just do it? Freaking make a career for myself. This past year, I went to CLI Conservatory, but backtrack 2 years ago. I went to their summer intensive. I think it was the summer after my junior year. So I went there for a week, and I literally fell in love. Okay, like, I'm going here. Like, I just felt it. So I had my in-person interview there. I was like, I'm interested in coming. They just finished their second year, so they were going into their third. I graduated in the 4th year. So I was like, I'm interested in coming for year 4, like, blah, 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 let's have an interview. And so we did, talk to them for like 30, 40 minutes. And then like few months, whatever later, I got email, got accepted. Awesome, great. You can have an early admission scholarship if you respond accepting your position within 2 weeks. And I was like, what? Like, it was September. And I was like, I don't know. Like, that's a whole year from now. I don't know what my life is going to be like. And I'm like, okay, wait. Like, do I want to apply to college? Do I want to do all these things? No. So I accepted my spot and I didn't even apply to college, which is awesome. I'm so happy I didn't have to deal with all that. But yeah, that was a scary feeling, but also that made me like want to push so hard for my senior year and make it best year ever, because I was like, I need to train so hard before I get here. Now that this is going to be my career, I'm studying and training for my future and my career, I guess, you know? So senior year was literally the best year of my life. Oh my god, I was freaking out because all my friends had graduated. Okay, wait, all my friends, I have friends, just not from school. All my friends are dance friends, so they all graduated the year before me. And I was like, dang, like, I'm kind of alone, like, this sucks. But it actually really made me like focus on myself, and I still got along with my teammates fine. Obviously, like, there's always dance drama, but it was fine. Yeah, so I cheered that year. I randomly won homecoming queen. Not too much on that, but like, what? Like, I don't even talk to any of you. This is awesome, like, whatever, great. But yeah, not too much on that because like no one cares anymore. Who cares? But then we started going to competitions and we did well. Like, I feel like I did well. Yeah, it was just a really great year. The nationals we had been going to for my whole life, we decided not to go to that year. So we went to Radix and I was so nervous. I just want to like do well. It's my senior year, you know, and we ended up doing really well, and that was the best week of my life. Like, I'm not kidding. Oh my god. I thought the summer intensive 2 years ago was the best week. That was the best week of my life up to that point. But now, I've had weeks that surpass that. My life has been so great, and I'm just like so grateful. Anyways, we had recital before that, which was devastating. Also, the last competition, the last regional competition, whew, devastating. I love my studio so much. Anyways, I know some people have terrible relationships with their studio. Mine, I wish I could dance there forever and ever and ever. I was so depressed leaving it. Also, I know I'm like glistening and sweating because I just got done with the workout, but also I'm sitting in my car and it's like 80 degrees out. But I wanted to do it in my car because this is where I like talk to myself the most, and I was like, this just feels at home, you know? Anyways, I know people have like terrible relationships with their studio, but I'm so grateful. I grew up at a studio that I loved, and like saying goodbye was so hard. I love my teachers so much. They're the best. Nationals rehearsals were so fun for me because I just love that build up, putting in the work to get to like the result. I just love training and I love rehearsals, so like those were so fun. Anyways, this is like really specific of my life, but like this was just a good year, okay? And so we went to nationals. We ended up doing really well. I personally did really well too, which I was shocked at. It was just the best week ever. I felt so grateful, and like it ended my studio convention comp career on a high. And then immediately from Vegas, Radix Nationals, me and my family went to Hawaii. We had never been. We also don't really do a lot of trips like that because we always want to, but either like we're away for dance or like that's our trip for the year. And totally valid, totally understandable. And also it was me, my mom, my dad, my sister, not my brother. My brother has autism, which I don't know if a lot of people know. I feel like if you're close to me, you know, but he is literally my favorite person ever. Like, he's so adorable. He's older than me, so he's 21, but it doesn't really seem like that because he's very like low functioning. Like, we have to do a lot for him and a lot with him. I can never leave him alone. We can never leave him alone. So if my parents are busy, then like I'll have to watch him, and it's just like he just seems like an 8-year-old versus like a 21-year-old. And it's not like an offensive thing or like that's just the best way to compare it. maybe not even 8. I don't know, just a lot of like simple day-to-day tasks we have to do for him, and nobody really understands or knows until like you've seen it or you've like lived with us or you've witnessed it, because it's like a lot more than you think. It's just hard for him to travel, go on an airplane for that long, really just like stuff like that, and we don't want to risk anything. And so yeah, but in case you were wondering why my brother wasn't there, that's why he can't really come on trips with us a lot, which literally breaks my heart because he's the sweetest person ever. Love him. He's the best. And that's also been a hard thing in my life. Just like, we can't do a lot of things sometimes because it's like, well, someone has to watch Ethan, or things just take a lot longer because maybe he like decides he's not in the mood to go to that place anymore or whatever, or like, I don't know, just like a lot of things that you would have to do for a toddler, which is fine. That's the life that we were given, and it's really hard a lot, and a lot of people don't know, and I don't want to like get too into it, but yeah, that's it for that. Anyways, that trip was amazing. I'm so grateful. My dad just had like a surgery a few months before, and we were like, we don't even know if we can go on this trip. We ended up being able to, and I was so happy. That was like the month of July, and then I got home for like one day, and I immediately the next day went on my best friend Amanda's family vacation with her. That was like my 3rd year going, I think, and we went to like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for like a week. It was her family vacation, and it was so fun. So that like whole month of July I was barely home because Nationals, Hawaii, and then Myrtle. And then the day after we got back, it was my grad party, and it was the most beautiful thing, like the most beautiful way to end out my senior year. I had it at my favorite restaurant, Michelangelo's Winery, and it was just the venue was so beautiful. I just couldn't even believe it. That was amazing. Fast forward to September, because the whole month of August was just kind of me chilling, me getting prepped to move away to Massachusetts. So for the past 11 months I've been living in Massachusetts because I attended the CLI Conservatory, which is a 10-month program, but I ended up staying for 1 more month, which we'll get to that. But that CLI was the hardest but most fulfilling. I gained so much knowledge and everything, and I learned so much about myself, but also about others, and also about dance, obviously. But it's a lot, and I'm really grateful that I did it. Like, I would totally recommend it, but just like, it was just a lot on me and a lot of stress, like every day, constantly living in fight or flight, I feel like, for like 10 months, especially audition season. Like 2 months of that was brutal. And also the first time in living away from home, scary, like in a different state too, like that was scary. And I lived with 5 people total, counting me, so 4 other people, and we lived in a house, like we were completely on our own. I was already used to cooking. That's also another hobby of mine, or like little passion. I love to cook. I'm like really sweating. I'm so sorry. You know, I met so many great friends that I'll have for my whole life at CLI, and I'm really grateful for it because I also feel less scared going into the industry, because knowing that I'll know people almost everywhere I go is crazy, because I have 240 people that I shared this experience with. And also I just feel less scared because I know so much more that I didn't know before, and I have so many like different perspectives on things that I didn't have before, and it really just makes me think in different ways. And I don't know, I feel like I grew a lot during that year, not only as a dancer but as a person. So I am really grateful for the experience. But it was just hard, like, because everyone's so close-knit. Everyone lives by everyone. Everyone knows everything about everyone. The drama circles, like, everything is just, like, everyone knows. And so I'm like, it's hard to not compare yourself to others when you're there, and I've never really struggled with that. But it was hard to stay true to myself, and I've always, like I said, I've always known myself, and I've always been so true to myself. I don't know, I wear what I want, I eat what I want. I just do whatever I want, I feel like. And not in like an ignorant way, but just like, it's my life. So like, I'm just gonna live it how I want and how I should, you know? But I kind of felt a sense of like, who am I? Like, I kind of lost myself through all the chaos, and I hated that. Now I totally feel like I've gained it back, like, because I ended up staying, like I said, for another month. So the whole month of July. I just got home a few days ago because I worked the summer intensive with like 12 other CY4 like interns. So I got to share that experience with them, which I'm so glad I took that opportunity because we got to assist so many choreographers. And then also we got to meet all the kids that came in each week. And we also like worked the front desk. So we got paid, which it just made my like lasting impression on CLI like so much better because I was just like always happy. It kind of got stressful. Obviously as an assistant things get stressful, but I'm so grateful I did it and I learned so much. I'm gonna make these episodes about like 30 to 45 minutes I think each, but my camera's about to die. I might end it out on my phone if I keep talking. But now I'm here, I'm searching for jobs. I have some plans that I don't really want to share, but I really want to like start teaching at dance studios, like build my teaching resume, stuff like that. But I also need to probably get like a regular person job. Don't know where, don't know how, don't know when. I'm going to LA in a few weeks, so excited about that. It was actually an opportunity from the intensive. So it's crazy how just opportunities come from other opportunities and you never know where things can lead. I have a meeting in 20 minutes with CLI actually, the interns. We're discussing some stuff for next year, I guess. This was kind of a quick, like kind of a brief but also in-depth, I don't know, overview of like who I am kind of and a little bit of my story. Things that you can know just by like watching my content is like I'm really into fitness. My parents also are, and I think that's the biggest reason, but also because I'm a dancer. My parents both do CrossFit. My mom's a yoga teacher, and they've just like kind of always been active ever since like I've been alive. So ever since I've known them. And we have like a gym in our garage. Like I actually just worked out, and it just, I don't know, my family lives a healthy lifestyle, so I feel like it helps me to do that. I really love fashion. That kind of grew over like quarantine. I kind of found a sense of style that I would now never wear. Obviously like when I'm young and like exploring, just diving into like fashion and stuff, like it was great and it ate for the time, you know, but now I would never wear that. Obviously now I'm living in Ohio. My plan is to move to LA eventually. I like low-key want to move to New York, but I know that I'm probably an LA dancer, so I'll probably be in LA some point next year. I'm definitely going to stay the rest of this year in Ohio, work, save up money. I'm going to upload. I'm making the promise to myself. I'm making a commitment. I'm staying consistent. I'm going to post a podcast episode every single Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my camera just died. Great. Okay, so I said a podcast episode every single Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just need to stay consistent. That's like the biggest word in my life that I always remind myself of is consistent. Consistency is key. And that's also what my dance teacher told me. Alex, she taught me that. I'm literally dripping sweat. I'm so sorry. This is kind of funny, actually. Dripping sweat. Anyways, new podcast episode every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then new regular YouTube video every Sunday and every Tuesday. I'm planning on uploading, finally, a super late Hawaii vlog from when we went back in March. I think it was March. So that'll be Sundays, and then probably like a quick little week in my life from one of the weeks of summer intensive. So I think that'll be Tuesday. So every Sunday and every Tuesday, a regular long form video is out. And then every Friday, I'm going to do a podcast episode. So it's kind of like another long form video because you can watch it obviously like a bit. And I'm just really excited. YouTube has been like my favorite thing to post on because it's like my most like real self, I feel like, and it's like my digital diary. It's not like overproduced or like not that my content is ever fake, but I just feel like it's just like a vlog, so you get the most like raw and like real content out of me from YouTube, I think. And that's always what I wanted. Whatever, I don't know how to explain myself, but yeah, I just want this to be like a way to document my life. And please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm so excited for this new era of the podcast. This is episode 1. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm so excited to start posting more because I haven't been as consistent as I want, especially with being away from home. I feel like now I'm back into my routine finally, and I can start posting more of my life because I just want to document as much as possible and just remember as much as possible because I love life and I love you all. So thank you for watching episode 1 of my podcast. Bye, everyone.